right, Paul Perillo, Patriots.com, Sunshine.com joins us now, and boy, is it sunshiny. That reporting from Mobile, Mazz? Oh, my God.
No, it's good
Holy
stuff.
Crap. You know.
From Prov to Patriots.com.
This is how literally Lazar either wrote it or the AI bots there out in Foxborough changed it. You know that throughout his story, you know how he refers to Mike Vrabel?
Go ahead. How?
Vrabes.
Coach Vrabel?
Are we doing this?
Coach Vrabel.
Coach Vrabel.
According, again, here's some
We're not doing it. I cut out the
No,
the
it's
quotes
good. It's
for
good. We're gonna read this, but according to this is again Patriots.com, Evan Lazar covering the Patriots contingent with exclusive access to Mike Vrabel, Ryan Cowden, and Elliott Wolf at the Senior Bowl.
It's good stuff. Good job, Ev.
Lazar writes, according to Coach Vrabel, the Patriots intentionally struck a balance between adding experienced coaches and younger assistants who are on the rise in their coaching careers. There's an experience level that's critical. There's been some growth from the offense over the years, and McDaniels has blended that with some of the new trends, but the foundation will remain the same. I'm excited about adding some of those new trends, Coach Vrabel said.
That's according to host Felger.
In terms of schematic changes, Coach Vrabel pointed to the fact that Maye's skill set is different from most of the quarterbacks McDaniels has used in the past. We're going to want to do things that maybe they didn't do with the previous quarterbacks here, Coach Vrabel said. Coach Vrabel this, Coach Vrabel that, Coach Vrabel.
I know, I hate that.
Oh, please.
It drives me
I don't
bananas.
know if you noticed, but in the email that I sent you guys, I broke out those quotes. I did take the coach part out.
In
When
one
I
of
sent
them
it
you
to
did.
guys,
I just put it back in.
Yeah, no.
But no, listen.
Figured you guys might stick on that.
Okay, so just leaving out the Coach Vrabel part. Striking a balance between adding experienced coaches and younger assistants. Okay, is another way to put that. It's kind of a hodgepodge and thrown together.
So, why don't you read the
Here we
quote? See, I thought the quotes from Vrabel about McDaniels, I thought was encouraging because I've been a little worried. We talked about this last week. I kind of share a little of your concern about whether or not they're on the same page with McDaniels and Vrabel. But this kind of leads me to believe that I think they sort of all understand where that's coming from, and they recognize the need. Yes, Josh McDaniels is a really good offensive coordinator. We know he knows what he's doing. He has a knack for play calling, creativity, whatnot, but he also needs to understand that he has a different skill set in the quarterback and the need to sort of incorporate some of the newer age stuff. So I think it is a blend of old and new, and I think that's why you're seeing some of these guys
So who's the new?
come in. Thomas Brown from Chicago. I don't know how good he is as an offensive coordinator. He's really never.
What's his background?
Never really been an
Does he come from the McVay tree, the Shanahan, Reed?
McVay.
He's McVay.
He's off of McVay's tree, and he was in Carolina in 23 as the offensive coordinator. Really wasn't the play caller until, I don't know, 6 or 8 weeks into the season. Frank Reich gave him the play calling duties. Obviously, that didn't work out there. Frank Reich ended up getting fired before that season was even over. And he was the offensive coordinator on an interim basis last year after Shane Waldron got fired. So he's never really, quote unquote, had his own offense. So I don't know exactly what to expect from him. But I think those are the kinds of that's a different voice. He comes off that tree. I like that he comes in and maybe McDaniels can blend his old style with some of the new stuff.
Okay, so again, without my being wise ass, just what Vrabel said was that there's an experience level that's critical. There's been some growth from the offense over the years, which
I think he means in the league.
Okay.
That's how I read it. I thought he meant that offense in the game has grown and changed. That's how I took it, but I don't know. Go ahead.
Vrabel continues, and he, meaning McDaniels, has blended that with some of the new trends, but the foundation will remain the same. Stop there. So this is going to be the Patriots offense.
I would say, like, from a terminology standpoint and how they're going to, identify the mic, their power. And, I heard Greg talk about the power and gap stuff, same stuff we talked about last week in terms of the running game. I think that's what McDaniels wants to do.
The foundation will remain the same, so they're going back to the McDaniels offense.
Yeah, I would say that will be, yes. In a nutshell, in the most simplistic form, I would say that's accurate.
So this concerns me a little.
Yes, absolutely.
It does concern me a little bit, but it's encouraging to me that at least there's room for other voices,
right?
and some other wrinkles. Yes,
right, and
maybe
so
an updated version, a modernization of it.
The foundation will remain the same. I'm excited about adding some of those new trends, Coach Vrabel said. Then his, meaning McDaniels' ability as a play caller. Having gone against him and seen him work and operate, he has a great vision for leading our offense. In terms of schematic changes, Coach Vrabel pointed to the fact that Maye's skill set is different from most of the quarterbacks McDaniels has worked with in the past. From this perspective, Maye's mobility could be an added factor that might lead to McDaniels calling more designed quarterback runs, run-pass options, and moving pockets this time around. Quote, "We're going to want to do things that maybe they didn't do with the previous quarterbacks here. That was all part of the interview process and what the vision is. Things that you've liked from your history, things that you'd like to add, and where we could enhance some of that stuff," said Vrabel. I think that's where Paulie took out the Coach Vrabel.
Coach Vrabel.
But the foundation will remain the same. Let's just stick with that. So that's back to the...
I don't love it.
So, the West Coast system is supposed to use numbers versus words. Now we're back to words. So, this sort of thing. The playbook reverts.
Yeah.
It's a different playbook for Drake Maye. It's a different sort of foundation for Drake Maye.
I'm not as worried about that as much as I am. I think that I have some concerns that offense isn't what it used to be in terms of its productivity, and maybe it's kind of seen.
You mean
its
the
better
Patriots
days.
offense?
Yeah, but what I'm encouraged by is the fact that they seemingly, to me anyway, they recognize that and they want to add to it. They want to use Drake Maye's legs as an example. I think he showed a pretty good aptitude for picking up a system very quickly. If he were in that Alex Van Pelt version of the West Coast offense for 2-3 years, and then you ask him to change, I think that's much more difficult to do. This, he just started in it. I think he can do the same thing, and I don't anticipate that being a problem. But I would worry if it's, we got to get a fullback on the field all the time. We got to, line up and run, between the tackles, and that's the only way to do it. But no, it sounds like they're open to doing some different things in the running game with the quarterback involved and adding some wrinkles.
I'm a little bit worried about just starting another change on Maye. That's the part that would concern me more. But I have a question.
It's not ideal.
I have a question for both of you because, again, I think of all the guys that McDaniels has coached, at least here, am I wrong to say that the closest comp in terms of physical ability would be Castle?
Yeah.
Right?
That's
how different.
Good.
Okay, so because Castle ran for
Castle was pretty athletic,
right? He ran. I mean, so my question then is, did they change the offense to accommodate Castle?
They absolutely simplified it.
Dumbed it down. Yeah.
All they did was throw wide receiver screens for the first couple of weeks. I don't think that they had designed runs for Castle though. He could run. He took off all the time, but there were no RPOs back in those days.
And
Mike, were you still with us then?
Oh no, 08. That was my first. No, I was ish.
08-ish. I'm trying to think. I want to say that they told him if it's not there, take off.
Yeah.
And the other thing that it took them, say, the better part of a couple of months was just sort of convincing him that's NFL open. You have to throw it. That's it. That's as open as he's going to get. You need to throw it. It took a while. But
I thought
yes, Mike is right. They dumbed it down.
They did a great job with him. I thought.
They did. I think that might be. That might be the one thing that you would point to if you're a huge Josh McDaniels guy is that year.
So the whole running thing's another sidebar too. It's like, I feel about this. Like, be careful. I mean, not just aesthetically. I'm sick of watching quarterbacks run around. But I mean in terms of preserving the kid because he doesn't know how to run yet. He's getting concussions or near concussions every other game, it feels like. And so they got to teach him when to run, how to run. And I think you can go too far with that. Running the kid. But either way, I agree with Paul, or I think that's the key line in this whole story and the whole comments from these guys down there in Mobile. The foundation will remain the same with the offense, meaning it's back to McDaniels' offense, which I guess you could have expected given McDaniels is the coordinator.
If you like that clip, check out more videos from Felger and Mazz here. For more Patriots analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.